In other news, Presidency spokesperson Khusela Diko, Gauteng Health MEC Bandile Masuku and his wife Loyiso Masuku, who's MMC in the city of Johannesburg, will all appear before an ANC Integrity Committee over the controversial Gauteng PPE tender. The three have all taken a leave of absence from their respective roles. Let's discuss this then, especially the Integrity Committee process. Bring in by Skype Gauteng ANC Provincial Executive Committee member Bones Modise. Bones, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. So, you announced yesterday that all three will now be subjected to the Integrity Committee's processes. Have you sent a letter officially setting the process in motion?
Good afternoon to you, Tembeki, and to your viewers. And firstly, let me indicate that I had an engagement with the Provincial Secretary today, where he indicated to me that he's finalizing the formal letter that must be sent to the Provincial Integrity Committee Chair, including all necessary documentation for them to be able to do their work that is before them. And he also indicated to me that the Integrity Committee should be able to kickstart their work from Monday, August 3 to September 3, 2020.
And you have set yourself quite an ambitious target because you want all of this to wrap up in a month. But what would be the processes of these Integrity Committee meetings? What needs to happen in order to interrogate the allegations made against your three members?
Okay, this is how it works. Once the Provincial Secretary has sent a letter to the Provincial Integrity Committee Chair, including those necessary documentation, the Chair will immediately convene a meeting of the Integrity Committee where all members will come, have a discussion on the dates and the times where they would want to engage with everyone that has been involved, including any person that might have information, so that they can agree who must be invited to come before them. And then their terms of reference are the same ones that you find in the Constitution of the ANC, so there's nothing in terms of reference. But the ultimate purpose of this Integrity Committee is that they must assess whether the allegation brought against members of the ANC has any bearing politically on the brand and the image of the ANC as an organization. Two, to check if these allegations are true or not true, and then finally put together a report with its recommendation that will be presented before the Provincial Executive Committee for a decision.
Is it just Khusela Diko and the Masukus who will now appear in the process from next week until late August?
From the ANC point of view, those are the comrades that are going to appear before the Integrity Committee. But remember, they also have a right to say, Bones can attest to the fact that I did not play any role. They can say this one and that comrade. And so that discussion will indicate how many people must be invited to the Integrity Committee, depending on them, if they've got any other external people that they want to involve. And the report that they will have received from the Provincial Secretary in relation to the decisions of the ANC will also indicate to them if they need to invite any other person outside Comrade Khusela, Comrade Bandile, and Comrade Loyiso.
So, Bones, the thing with the Integrity Commission is it's an internal ANC process, right? But it has no bearing really on the Special Investigating Unit processes, which would ultimately lead to whether there's a definite finding of a crime having been committed or not, right? So what point will it serve if it is not really going to take away those big question marks over the heads of these three people?
Remember, the reason comrades were asked to step aside was for the political purposes, and Integrity Committee satisfies that part. The part of SIU is a different part that involves law enforcement agencies, in which the Integrity Committee work will specifically focus on the ANC as an organization and ANC as a brand. And let's separate the two. The SIU is a different matter altogether, whereby should anything come out of the SIU that seeks to suggest anything, that's where your NPAs and asset forfeiture unit and so on and so forth to get involved. And then there's issues of going to courts. The Integrity Committee doesn't play that role. All it seeks to do is to say, does the comrade really is guilty of the allegation that have been leveled against him as it pertains to the ANC as an organization? Did he bring the organization into disrepute and so on? That's what we want to establish as an organization. Issues of the law will leave it to the law enforcement agencies. Integrity Committee has no role to play in those regards, yes.
But the issue with that is if let's say, for example, the Integrity Commission found that there was no wrongdoing on the part of either of these three people, you would still have a cloud that brings the ANC leadership in Gauteng into question, because there'd be an ongoing SIU process that would still not be finalized. So people again ask, what is the point?
Remember, in the Provincial Executive Committee, part of the resolutions was to instruct the Premier of the province to engage with the SIU to speed this process of investigations, because if you read the statement that was issued by Comrade Bandile in his capacity as the MEC, he did indicate that as far back as May, he would have requested that there should be a forensic investigation into the department as it relates to the procurement processes of COVID-19 PPEs. So that process, it's a process on its own, separate from what we are doing.
Okay.
Whether the Integrity Committee comes back and say there's no guilt in the part of comrades, the SIU is still another process that is independent on its own. That does not affect what the PIC will recommend to the ANC.
I suppose the point I'm making is that it would not remove the cloud over the ANC, which is what the Integrity Commission process would be seeking to do.
No. If that was the case, we would not have subjected the comrades before the Integrity Committee. We are saying go to the Integrity Committee so that they can check if indeed what you have done has in any way impacted on the brand ANC and its standing in society. That's what we want to establish. The issue of investigations by SIU, it's a different matter. Let's not confuse the issues. Let's leave the law enforcement agencies to do what they're supposed to do. This one is a subcommittee of the ANC. ANC as an organization wants to know if these comrades, with what have been alleged, is it true, these allegations? If yes, to what level did they impact on the organization? If no, what level did the allegation impact the organization? And they will recommend the corrective measures, which the ANC PC will look into them. If they agree with the corrective measures, they will endorse them. If they need to fine-tune certain corrective measures that have been proposed, the PC will do so. Because at the end of the day, it's the PEC of the ANC that must take a decision on this matter.
Very quickly,
guided
Bones,
by what the Integrity Committee will have found.
And forgive me for interrupting you very quickly, just on that, because we're dealing with the integrity or the credibility of the Integrity Commission's work and its findings. What tools of interrogation and investigation does it actually use that will say in an issue where alleged criminality is said to have taken place, you're able to pronounce with confidence that, look, apart from oral submissions, we can say confidently that nothing dodgy happened here?
Like I indicated earlier, the resolutions of the PEC will be given to them by the Provincial Secretary, including any other relevant documentation. And these comrades that are going to appear before Integrity Committee will also indicate that if we were to call this comrade and that comrade, they will speak on my behalf. They will concur with what I'm saying before you. So as to which tool they would prefer to use, I'm unable to say so, because it's a different matter that is sitting somewhere with Comrade Trevor Fowler and the committee that he works with. So I will not be able to tell you what type of tools are they going to use in this particular case, because they work with case by case, and the cases that are brought before them are not the same in their nature.
Bones, thank you so much for speaking to us.